Have you ever wondered what really makes a relationship last? Like, my parents have been together for almost over 44 years now, and they're still going strong. So, have you really ever wondered sometimes what is it that they have that the rest of us can't seem to find, right? So, I'm going to give you some rules for a lasting relationship, but you're going to have to stick around. You're going to have to stick around, and I'll be back right after this. Well, hello and welcome back to the Blackstone Relationship Academy. My name is Unique Subanda and I am your head coach as well as your style concierge here on the Black Swan Relationship Academy. Today I am talking about the rules for a lasting relationship. So there is no like defining, okay, these three things you have to do so that your relationship lasts. No matter what man you're with, no matter what woman you're with, no matter the situation, these are the things that you need. But I'm going to give you three that are important to the Blackstone Relationship Academy, and then I'll go into some more general ones. But these are the three that you're going to need. Yeah? The first one is join Blackstone Relationship Academy. 2, which we only really apply for in the month of May, join the Secrets of a Man's Mind, which is on the 21st of May, and the links are in the description box. And the third thing is like, comment, and subscribe to this channel, Black Swan Relationship Academy. So those are the three essential things you will need for a lasting relationship. Okay, all joking aside, let's really get into the topic. But before I do, I'm going to leave this here for you and have a listen. And this is really about the 21st of May, all about the secrets of a man's mind. I'll be back in a few minutes.
There are two types of women. One that positions herself to be a winner using a man's very own nature. We call that woman a black swan, or a woman who is convinced that she can scream, shout, and complain and change a man's nature. Now, if you are a black swan, I have decided to help you out. Ladies, I am offering you a free, yes, another free masterclass on the secrets of a man's mind. In this course, we're going to look at the things that men will never tell you, are afraid to tell you, don't even know they need to tell you, assume you should know. We're going to look at the man's brain, how he is wired, his heart, his spirit. How does he really think? What is going on in his mind when he meets you, marries you, dates you, courts you? We're going to look through every aspect and you will be able to understand the secrets of a man's mind. And being a black swan, you will be able to use those secrets to create the love life you crave and deserve. If that sounds good to you, all you have to do is follow any of the links or wherever you see this video, and I will see you on the other side.
Okay, so we're back. Let's really get into the topic a little bit more seriously. So I'm gonna go back to something a lot of you will most probably know, which is the hierarchy of needs, the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, which was developed by Abraham Maslow. And what he was looking for in my research, apparently, was he was looking for the meaning of life. This is how he came up with these hierarchy of needs. And if you really think about it, in our search for the meaning of life, relationships seem to play a very important role, not just romantic relationships, friendship relationships, mother-daughter, father-son, parent relationships, all that kind of, they really add to the meaning of life. So I'll kind of start off with really at the pinnacle, at the top of the triangle, the pyramid, if you want to call it that, is the self-actualization. So everything we need to actually really discover ourselves. For the whole point of relationships and everything that we live, the whole meaning of life is to really discover ourselves. So we need partners, friends, and everybody who comes to help us really live out to our fullest potential. It's never to separate us. It's never to say that we don't go through all of these changes for nothing. It's really just to self-actualize and realize what we're here for, right? I'm a Christian, so I do believe I have a purpose, and that purpose for me always has to be in line with God's purpose for my life. That means my partner has to be aligned with my purpose for my life. Everything I do just has to be in line. There has to be an alignment, right? So I'm just going to kind of break down the Maslow's hierarchy of needs before I get into the things that I really believe make a relationship lasting and beautiful as well. And I know on all out here we've been hearing relationships are hard. They are really hard, like, because we're working against so many different changing, moving parts. Like, you can't control everything, so that's the difficulty in them. But when we focus on the difficulty, we make relationships a suffering, right? We end up suffering relationships, and it's so unnecessary. And I've literally came to a point in my life where I always say, no, I like the soft life, honey. But for me, my version of soft life is like, please, I beg, leave the suffering over there. I'm okay with the pain. I'm okay with finding out what needs to be done. I'm okay with expressing my emotions. But can we just not suffer in it? Yeah, let's not suffer. Okay. So I'm just going to kind of break down the Maslow's hierarchy of needs at the basic, like, these are your basic needs. Like, everybody needs this: food, water, drink, like, just to be able to sustain, just physical needs. And then we kind of go into safety needs, security and protection. Make a mental note of that. Yeah, safety and protection. Then we kind of step into the spiritual domain, which is why some of us love going to church, because you get belonging and your love needs are met. You get communities. That's why sometimes we choose the jobs we choose. That's why we have the friends we have, because this is where your friends and your partners come into the mix, because they are fulfilling both physical and spiritual needs. And the next bit is, out of all that, you also want to be respected. You want to be respected and accepted for who you are. It's just your esteem. You want to be respected and be in a space, because you've guaranteed your safety needs, which are your security and your protection. And now you want to be able to belong in a space that allows you to live out your fullest potential, which is where you end up coming to self-actualization, which is you at your best. And I always say, live your best life, whatever it is. Want what you want, love what you love. And that's really about self-actualization and allowing yourself and accepting yourself for who you are, so that you can really grab onto the fullest of your potential. So I'm gonna go right into the things I think really make a relationship last long. The first one is acceptance. For you to self-actualize, you need to have a strong support system. I have been so fortunate to have friends that literally got my back. They will fly to the moon and back for me. And that's a treasure. So it affords me the ability to just live out loud and live out proud and not be afraid of making mistakes. And look, it hasn't always been like that. I would say I've kind of really come into this friends. It was a slow growth of friendship, which I think sometimes is the best. So I always find that fast-paced things always kind of fizzle out really quickly, but the slow growth or the slow loves are the ones that really nurture you and allow you to rest and be the best version of yourself. So number one will be acceptance for me. Is for your relationship to last long, you need to accept yourself, accept your person, accept your situation in which you're in, what kind of relationship you're in. Give an example, maybe a long distance relationship. So you need to accept that there are certain things that you won't be able to do with your partner because of the distance. You need to understand that you need to be a bit fluid with your pockets, because there's going to be some traveling going on. You cannot stay away from each other too long. You're going to have to accept that you also need to satisfy each other's needs, as in, what does the other person need to be accepted? Is it all they need is just space, a silent space for you to be quiet and be able to talk, express yourself? There's all of that acceptance. And even in our demeanor and energy, is it an accepting demeanor? Is it an accepting energy? We have to reside in acceptance for a relationship to really last long. Even in our friendships, we have to have we always say this thing about creating a safe space for a man to lay his heart and really rest and be able to know that you've got his back. And sometimes when you are not safe and secure within yourself, it's hard to give someone else that space. So I'd say the first most important thing is accepting yourself, accepting your circumstances, and knowing exactly what you can and cannot manage, which is why we always tell you, know your core needs. What are your basic needs within a relationship? If your need is for your man to communicate with you regularly, Monday to Friday, or Sunday to Sunday, in the morning and in the evening and in between, then make sure that you can communicate that and accept that this is what I want and this is what I'm going to go for. I'll give you another example as well. I kind of had a conversation with a friend, and I was just saying, I'm going through that point in my life where I question my wanting to get married. I've been married before. I question if it's a need, if it's something that I'm doing because I need that in my life. I want it in my life. If I cannot even want, I need it in my life, so much so that it has to happen. Or is it just a function of how I have functioned in society, that I need to be married to be able to be happy? Because I did get married, I wasn't happy, we went through a divorce, and I found myself and I've accepted who I am as a single woman. And now going into another relationship, I have had to assess if marriage is something I really want. And in that assessing, because I had a friend I can talk to who will accept me and not question me for wanting to question, why would you think of not getting married? And that the whole idea of marriage by design, that even if I do get married, I'm not so sure I want to live with my partner. I have a way of life that I'm so used to, of the way I've raised my daughter. My partner at the moment, he's got his kids as well. So it's one of those where if we are going to take that step, is it something I really want to do and move my life to where he is, or vice versa? So those are the questions that, because I have the space and the acceptance in the friendship that I have, I can put those forward. Even in the relationship that I have at the moment, I can put them forward and say that, well, these are my concerns. I'm not sure I really want to do marriage this way. And my partner is listening and he's able to accept me for having those opinions. And then we discuss it and come to a conclusion. So acceptance for me is very important, because it makes the relationship, and it gives a safety net for the relationship to actually really grow. Just like how, say, if you're growing a plant and you have seed, if you put the seed in the soil and the soil accepts the seed, the plant is then able to grow. So in the same breath, if I am trusting this man, that, or say if you trusting this man or woman, if you're in a relationship, say if you're a man in a relationship with a woman, if you're trusting your partner to be able to help you grow and accept you as you are, it's like they are the soil and you are the seed, and the soil has everything you need and the comfort space and gives you the nourishment for what you need to grow. So all of us need acceptance. Children need acceptance. We all need acceptance. But for a relationship to be able to grow, for anything to be grow, it needs to be accepted. Because if you notice, if the seed is not accepted by the soil, the seed just sits there in this a dormant state, and it doesn't even crack out of the shell, because it has not been accepted, or it has not accepted the nutrients that the soil is providing. So it just stays that way. So if we kind of look at relationships as in that analogy, we are literally like that. We need acceptance. And the second point is open communication. So when there's acceptance, you're then able to openly communicate without judgment, without feeling like you're being controlled, without feeling like you're being managed. When you have open communication, you are able to bring up anything. You can literally bring up anything. And open communication for me is the foundation for so many other things that you're then able to bring to the table and talk about in a free space. It makes it easier to talk about finances. It makes it easier to talk about mutual respect. It makes it easier to talk about your core needs and expect them to be met because you have voiced them. It allows you to even have really great sexual experiences because you are open with each other, so you can actually talk about what you want, how you want it, when you want it, how you like it, when you like it, all of those kind of things. So open communication is the perfect, okay, not perfect, but it's just one of those things I would say definitely allow you to have a lasting relationship. The third thing I would say is making time to be present. So when we've now experienced acceptance, we have open communication. It's making the time to be present. We need to be present in the relationship, present with ourselves, conscious of what's happening, taking it all in without distractions. So when I say make time to be present, is when you are with your partner, make time to actually be with your partner in that moment, not on your phone texting away, not doing other things around. Like, make sure you have the time and the space to be present, mind, body, and spirit, fully present. Because once you've laid the foundation of acceptance, laid the foundation of open communication, now you need to be in the conversation, right? So that you can grow. The seed needs to be in the soil, it needs to be present in the soil so that the soil can nurture it and grow it. And the last thing on my notes here, I would say, is intimacy. Not just prioritizing your sex life, but prioritizing just general intimacy, because it really starts off with connection and desire and attraction and all of those good things that we've talked about. Intimacy is a lot more than just the physical act. It's intimacy is the way the two of you look at each other when something, like, when you have these common jokes. I remember when we did a photo shoot with the girls at Blackstone Academy, and my partner was there. I remember one of the coaches saying to me, because I did not see it, I did not see it. I remember my partner saying, when I had changed and I was coming down the stairs, I remember one of the coaches saying to me that I had changed and come down the stairs. He heard my partner muttering something and saying, oh, and when I came down, it's just the way he was looking at me. So sometimes I did not see that because I see him every day, and that's the same look I see every day. It doesn't make, any difference to me. But because he stopped whatever he was doing to look at me, and our eyes locked, and I smiled and he smiled back. And the first thing we did was hug and hold hands. And she was watching this from the outside, and she's like, oh my God, that is beautiful. But I'll say that came from the times that we prioritize to give each other the space and prioritize our intimacy. I always use this, I don't know whether it's an acronym or a metaphor or a analogy, where we'll always say it's intimacy really means into me seeks. I've allowed him to see into me, to see my heart, to see my intentions, to see me for who I really am. So that is the kind of intimacy I'm talking about, allowing your partner to really see you. But you can only do that when you really see yourself, right? You need to see you and accept you. And we are so harsh on ourselves. We are so hard on ourselves. We don't really take time to actually see just ourselves. And the last point I have for you today, that was the last point I had. The next few things I was kind of just add-ons, really. So it's not really points that really explain what are those key things that then allow you to be able to function within this relationship. Is with the things we all need understanding, and to be someone who's gentle with our imperfections. We need shared vulnerabilities. We all need to be able to be open, and when we share those vulnerabilities with each other, it causes an even stronger bond and understanding. So for those four things to function, they also need kindness, vulnerability, and understanding, which is why they're able to make this relationship last longer. If any of this has resonated and you would love to have a conversation with me about your relationship, or even the potential of you wanting to get into a relationship, book a discovery call with me. Let's have a look at what's your plan. Yeah, what is your plan for getting this long-lasting relationship? Because I know sometimes we like, oh no, just fall in, and we don't plan it and we don't think about what needs to go in. But really, relationships are intentional. So if you are intentional and you would love to get on that journey of finding this long-lasting relationship, or keeping the fire and everything going on within your current relationship, do book a discovery call with me. All the links are in the description box below, and I will see you on another video. I really hope you have an amazing weekend, and I will see you soon. You are loved, and talk to you soon. Mwah.
Well done for coming to the end of this video. What I want to ask you is, what have you learned? What is your takeaway? And what are you going to start practicing right away? Those 3 things are how you are going to get the best out of every class here at the Black Swan Relationship Academy. Please put it in the comments so that we can all have a look. So I can have a look, the coaches can have a look, and I promise you, we read every comment. We may not be able to reply to every comment, but we read all your comments, and we want to see how you are growing. And we will see you on the next video.